How's it going, guys? It's the holidays. Actually, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. And there's a bunch of sales going on for physical media, 4K Blu-rays, regular Blu-rays, DVDs if you collect those. So I just wanted to go through and I did a little shopping online. So I wanted to go through all the things that I got. So let's do that. Starting first, I picked up Brawl in Cell Block 99. So this film is directed by S. Craig Zahler, which is somebody that I had never heard of until I saw the movie Bone Tomahawk, which Bone Tomahawk quickly became one of my favorite movies of all time. It's like a mix between a Western movie and a horror movie, so it's kind of got like Red Dead Redemption vibes and like mixed with just like a crazy kind of gory horror movie. It's very cool. And some of my favorite things about S. Craig Zahler is that he does really good dialogue, and the dialogue in that film is it's amazing. If you haven't seen Bone Tomahawk, I highly recommend it. But this is his follow-up film, Brawl in Cell Block 99. It stars Vince Vaughn, along with a few other people, Jennifer Carpenter, and Don Johnson. This movie's crazy. This is, I don't think it's as good as Bone Tomahawk, but it's definitely as brutal, I would say. It's crazy. The whole premise, you know what? I'm not gonna give you the premise. It's something to watch. It's something to watch. It's Vince Vaughn. Like, you've probably never seen him. If your idea of Vince Vaughn is like Wedding Crashers, which most people's idea is probably that, Wedding Crashers, Swingers, this is one to watch. You see a different side of Vince Vaughn, and it's crazy. Once again, the dialogue in here is really good. I don't think it's as good as Bone Tomahawk, but it's a really fun, if it's not for the faint of heart. You're not gonna watch this with the kiddies. So, but if you're into kind of a hardcore action movie, this is your jam. That's Brawl in Cell Block 99. The next one I got is Tarantino's first film, Reservoir Dogs. This is a classic. Yeah, it's probably, honestly, one of the first few Tarantino movies I was introduced to. Pulp Fiction might have been the first one, or Inglourious Basterds, I don't know. But Reservoir Dogs is a great Tarantino film. The dialogue is amazing, the story, the setup, all the characters. If you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs, I highly recommend you check it out. Bunch of robbers after a heist, and the heist goes wrong, and they're trying to figure out what's going on and what's happening, and nobody trusts each other, and it's wild. So if you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs, I highly recommend you check it out. Right now, I think I got it on sale for $10, so I couldn't pass it up. That's Reservoir Dogs by Tarantino. The next film I got is Rian Johnson's Knives Out. So this is a really cool, really interesting mystery thriller. It's like a murder mystery. I really like Rian Johnson. I think the first movie I saw of his must have been The Brothers Bloom with Adrian Brody and Mark Ruffalo and Rachel Weisz. Really, really good movie. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend you check that out. Another one that he's done is Brick with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but I've never seen Brick, actually. It's one that's on my list that I have to check out. But this movie, it's got a bunch of people in it, and it's fun, it's creative, it's original, which is really nice to see, especially nowadays. You don't see a whole lot of original works, original properties. And there's a sequel on Netflix, so this is the first Knives Out, and they have a second one on Netflix you can check out. But I highly recommend, if you haven't seen the first one, to check this one out. Alright, the next one I got is Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho. Is that what it is? Yes, Last Night in Soho. This has got Anya Taylor-Joy in it, and Mackenzie Thomason. Thomason McKenzie. That must be it. Thomas and Mackenzie. I apologize. I'm the worst with names. But it's directed by Edgar Wright, who did Baby Driver. He also did Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, all those movies. So I really like Edgar Wright. I think he's a super exciting and like fresh filmmaker. He's got like a lot of energy and a lot of character, and it really bleeds into his films. I really liked Last Night in Soho. I went and saw it in theaters when it came out. I think Edgar Wright has a problem with ending his films. I always think the endings just don't land. But I have like a blast throughout the whole film, and I think it's a really great film. And then the end comes, and I'm like, it was a good film. It was a good film. But very few am I like, this is a great film. I really like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Baby Driver though, same thing as this. I just feel like the ending is just, it gets a little crazy. It gets a little comic booky, a little, kind of crazy. And a lot of times I'm not super into that. But this is Last Night in Soho. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you check it out. The next film I got is Jordan Peele's Get Out. This movie blew me away when I saw it in theaters. I mean, it's so original. It's so funny and dark and intense. It like most people, Get Out blew me away when I first saw it. I'm not a huge fan of Us, and I'm really not a huge fan of Nope. I think Get Out is his best film by far. Second would probably be Us. I think Us is good. It just has a lot of, when you do like a horror film that's not enclosed and it's like a widespread thing, like all across America, all across, I think it's harder. I think there's a lot of things that came into play with that makes it difficult. But Get Out is a very like enclosed thing. Most of it takes place in one house. I really love this movie. I'm due for a rewatch because last time I saw it was when it came out in theaters, but I just remember loving this film. So I'm excited to check this out again. It's Jordan Peele's Get Out, 4K Blu-ray. And the last 4K that I got recently is a classic. When I saw that it was on sale, I had to get it. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 4K. I mean, I grew up watching this movie. Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka is just like one of the craziest, best characters of all time. I'm not a huge fan of musicals for the most part, but for some reason I really enjoy this musical. And it very much is a musical. There's lots of musical numbers. It's just a classic. I mean, Gene Wilder knocks it out of the park. All the child actors knock it out of the park. It's just a classic, great story. It's as classic to me as like A Christmas Carol. It's such a good story, and the acting's great, and the music's great. And if I like a musical, it means that it must be pretty good, because I don't like a lot of musicals, unfortunately. But that's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. If you don't own this one, I highly recommend checking it out. The next three are not 4K Blu-rays, they're just regular Blu-rays. This one my uncle actually got for me, and it is David Lynch's Wild at Heart. So if you are getting into Nicolas Cage, or if you're getting into David Lynch, this is one to check out. David Lynch is an interesting filmmaker, to say the least. It's not necessarily my vibe, but I think a lot of people will like it and get into it. Blue Velvet was one of the first David Lynch films. Actually, the very first David Lynch film I saw was Eraserhead. Blue Velvet was the second David Lynch film. So this is the third David Lynch film I believe I've seen. And it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's definitely a David Lynch film. It's kind of a Bonnie and Clyde situation a little bit, where Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern are kind of just out on the road, on their own. Kind of a Badlands vibe a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. It definitely a Nicolas Cage performance, and definitely a David Lynch film. So it's one to check out. That's Wild at Heart on Blu-ray. All right, this next one is a horror movie. It was on sale for $5 on Amazon, so I was like, oh, $5, gotta get it. It is Midsummer. Midsummer is a crazy horror film if you have never seen it before. It is wild. It's got Florence Pugh as the main character. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. It's a horror movie that is shot almost 100% just during the day, super bright and sunny. And I won't give away any of the plot, but it is a wild movie, and it's kind of a psychedelic horror movie, a little bit, and it just there'll be images that you've never seen before in this film. So if you're into horror movies that get really graphic, if you don't mind seeing some hardcore stuff, I think this is one to check out. It's pretty crazy. But that is Ari Aster's Midsummer. They also directed Hereditary. So if you liked Hereditary and you haven't seen this, definitely check it out. It's great. And last but not least is another horror movie that I found on Blu-ray. And this one was also really cheap. I'm not sure if it was, I think it was like $8. But that is X. I have not seen X before. I know that they shot a prequel to X called Pearl, I believe. But X is supposed to be pretty crazy. I think they shoot a porno movie, or the whole idea of it is they're going to shoot a porno movie at somebody else's house, like some old folks, and things go crazy. I haven't seen it before, but that's what I understand of it. This also has Jenna Ortega, which I know that she's kind of a big deal right now. So I am interested in checking it out, and I look forward to see how it is. Hopefully, I've heard good things, so I'm excited to check it out. So that's about it as far as the haul that I have for the holidays. I hope you guys are having a good Thanksgiving, and be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Once I hit 100 subscribers, I do have a copy of Rushmore. I'll be giving out the Criterion version, a sealed copy of Rushmore, because I accidentally bought an extra one. But so once I hit 100, I will pick someone at random and ship this out to you. So all right, I will see you in the next one. Bye.